Let's go mudlarking in an area with 200 years of iron history. Today we're mudlarking again on the Rumney River, but we've come up north beyond the points that we've been in the past, and yet again just to the side here you can see this huge stone wall that's been put in place. Today there's a major road up beyond there, but this would have been in place from the industrial times, and here iron ore was being exploited at an industrial level, and that was 200 years ago. In fact, 220 years ago. The Union Ironworks was working just on the east bank here. So let's have a look if we can find evidence of the iron industry and whatever other treasures that might be lurking in this river. Come on, let's go mudlarking.
Our first beach of the day. Somebody's already been here, you can see by all the knotweed that's bashed and beaten down. And I can see a few things, but I don't think there's a lot of really old just yet. A lot of glass is freshly broken, but I have seen this. And it's really pretty. It's a bit of handle of something. It was blue and white. A jug or something like that, I think. A big jug. And let's see if there's anything else along here. There could be fossils, lots of fossils today we're expecting, because anywhere where there has been mining, all the waste has been brought up with lots of fossils in it. No, I thought that was a handle. I think it's just a rock. Lots of bits of coal, no surprise there. But I think we need to get in the river and see what's in this. Come on, down to the river edge we go. Oh, careful, it's a bit slippery today. You can see the water on the rocks with a coating of mud. Right, so come on everyone, pop your wellies on, in we go. Oh, that is slippery. What's that? Do you think that's plastic or ceramic or something else? Oh, it's chipboard. It was something else.
There you go. My first find of the day, a lump of iron.
Oh, well done.
An iron bar.
It's a bit of a boring lump of iron though, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if you're into iron bars, it's beautiful.
It's interesting.
We'll come and have a look.
It's a bit deep, mind. Shall we come out to the deep?
Yes. Well, let's have a look at your very impressive bar. Is it rebar, modern rebar, or is it a piece of iron?
It's a piece of iron bar.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is, can you see there?
There's a groove.
A groove there, and there's a groove there.
Mm.
So something,
there, yeah.
something has rubbed along this.
Right.
This is not, and there's a notch out there. This is showing that's not a new piece of bar.
No.
That's seen some use somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know what,
No.
but it's definitely, see, that's definitely a groove through
It's
there.
got
That's
some
been
history
worn.
to it, hasn't it?
It's got a story to tell, but it's not saying anything much
No.
at the moment. But because of where it is and because of what's gone on here, I like the fact my first find is a big lump of rusty iron.
There's something with squares on down there. What do you think that is? Could just be a piece of plastic. No, it's metal. I don't know what it's off, but it's an interesting piece of metal. This is such a pretty place to be mudlarking. With all those rocks, it feels very much like when we were in Switzerland. It's just the rocks are a slightly different colour and the water isn't quite so icy cold. Look at these stones. They're huge. They're dressed. The dressed is what they called it when they shaped the stones. You get some stones that are just rounded.
The level of building that's gone on so near the river here, the wall there this year, it shows just how much money was being spent in order to contain the water so that it could be used for industrial purposes, but also to create the land on which they could lay the railway lines, that they could have all of the industry running. And as we mentioned, it was both sides. There was so much going on here because you had not only the Crawshaw family, but also the Marquis of Bute, who was one of the richest men in his day. They had industry here, and they would have spent out on doing this work in order that they could then take as much out of the area as they could with regards to natural resources, coal, iron ore, and the like. So much history, so much beauty, and nature now is taking its toll and it's claiming back the land that was once its, belonged to it.
Oh, that looks like a big lump of aluminium. Yes, that's quite a lump, isn't it? We take that with us.
And I found a rather modern, somebody has misplaced their measuring tape
Yeah.
and just a bit of plain china, but I think considerably older than the measuring tape.
Yes, it is.
What would be lovely is to find something that perhaps belonged to someone who was working on the wall.
Oh, that would be good.
But I get the feeling this wall was built considerably earlier than plastic measuring tapes.
Yeah. I can see something orange up there, which looks vintage, not antique. We need to get over there to have a look at it.
More like it belongs in the kitchen.
Ah, it's lovely. Look, it's a little kitchen spatula. It's obviously been used because, just like me, they've lent it on the side of the frying pan and melted it. I'm always doing that with my kitchen tools. And that's a really cute small one. Oh, that's coming home with me. You found something awful, haven't you?
Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yep, it's not in my eye.
Not in mine either, really, but I know some people do like these bits of
Bone skull.
There's a jawbone from some animal.
You can see by the teeth it's definitely an animal, which is comforting. It's not human.
Sheep, do you think?
Probably, something like that. Something is in the water there. Aha. Oh, it's a hammer, is it? Let's give it a tug. Oh, yes, look at that. That's been in the water for quite a while. It's a draper though. Oh, nice hammer.
Now it's better than the one I've got at home.
Is it?
The one I got at home like this is bent.
Right.
I kind of over exceeded its capacity when I do the job.
Right.
So I'm going to take that home and clean it up.
Oh.
But I still think it's not of an age of the man that put the wall up.
No, I don't think so.
Drapers were making rubber-handled claw hammers.
No.
But somebody has dropped their tool bag because there's a claw hammer and a tape measure. That's going home with me.
This is a lovely, peaceful place. Not a lot of china, but I have seen this, so I thought I'd turn the camera on, show you the china and show you the scenery. Is it plain or patterned? Oh, there's a little bit of... Is that dirt or patterning? No, it was dirt. And here is a bit of fossil. You can see the lines on that next door to this very big stone with more bits of fossil on. This we just find everywhere on this river. More fossil, but this time the lines are quite narrow. Storm drain is still dripping from when we had the terrible rains yesterday. Fortunately, it didn't take the river level up too high because I was a bit concerned we wouldn't be able to get in the river. But we can. And what's this? More iron. Oop. I think that's possibly from the bottom. Whoops. I think that's possibly from the bottom of a lamppost. And that's where you'd hook it on to whatever. And there's the hole where the workman could put the key in, turn it, take it off and replace, I don't know, a fuse or something like that. There are things quite often you think, oh, is this a tile? And it's not, because the way the stone breaks around here, like that, looked like quite a neat made corner, but it's not. But it does have another bit of fossil on. Let's give it a swill. Not so deep this time, but you can see the lines of the fossil. And I've seen a little bit of white, which I think is milk glass. Yep, it's the bottom of a milk glass jar. Now, odds on, that's a Pond's face cream jar. We find lots of those and bits of those. The river is still flowing and we're still finding things. There's the obvious thing there, which is very eye-catching, being white.
Is there a tinge of blue on the top edge?
Yes, it looks like. Let's have a look at the other side. Now, it's well worn, but there's definitely some blue on there. And there's also, by the side of it, something in there. Can you see it? Ah, doesn't want to come out. Oh, that's cold and wet. Ah, let's have a look what's on the other end of this.
Oh, God.
I think that's caught under something, isn't it? Oh, look, it's off a shopping trolley. There's me thinking it was some sort of old chain from a brewery or the ironworks.
And it's ancient shopping trolley lock.
Oh, well. And Phil found this, which looks like a piece of slag glass.
It doesn't look like a broken bottle.
No, it doesn't, does it?
I thought it might have been a crystal at first.
But I think that's slag glass, which is an interesting find around here. This is a lovely natural pavement for us to walk on. Just below the water we can see there's nothing in our way, there's no lumps and bumps to trip us up. The only problem is you have to be careful because occasionally you come across a very slippery bit. That was a nice easy walk and we'll have a look in here. I can't see anything at a quick glance other than some dressed stone there. And that looks like something, doesn't it? It's got like that edge on it there. Oh, is that a stone wedge of something? And I've seen some glass here as well. Let's have a look if that's got any signs of age. Yep, it's quite thick. It's like an aqua colour, so could be an indication that we're going to find some bits of bottle.
I got more iron.
I thought I could hear somebody clattering in the background.
It was me clattering, but look what I found.
Oh, it's a storm drain lid, is it? Oh, no.
Manhole.
Manhole cover.
See, lifting points there and there, look. Telecom, is it?
Yes, could be. From the telephones.
So if that's telecom, it's definitely not from the 200 years ago.
No, I don't think so. Now that is the way to build a culvert to bring the water under the road when it gets too rainy, which is quite often in Wales. That's an absolutely stunning stone double arch. Just a circle. I wonder who built that. They're obviously a craftsman. That's really impressive. Shall we send Phil up inside with the camera? Yes, you all want to see Phil with the camera. Go on, up you go.
Now see, this reminds me now, I feel like I should be on play school and say, and today, what's through the round window?
You're about to find out.
I'm not going to be crawling in here, folks, but I will send you lot in to have a look. Oh, there's lots of veggies coming out.
Look at this amazing pile of metal. I love rusty old metal, and we've just found this on the bank, and there's quite a lot of it. Look at the size on that. Oh, Phil, you pick that up. It's really heavy.
It's two. That's a pin. That would be dropped through, and then a split pin put in the hole in the end there. See the hole?
Yep.
You did a split pin through there to stop it coming back out, and that becomes your joint.
All right.
Pin things together. There's one there, and there's the other one there. And this, that's a fish plate.
Right. No fish on it.
Join two things together. Girders, rails, wedged in. See how it's tapered?
Oh yeah.
Wedge it in, bolts through, 2 bolts in one rail, 2 bolts in the other rail, straight through into another one of these the other side, and that's rolls them together. Use that underground. That's a nice big lump. The beauty is, as I mentioned, there were 2 major ironworks on this river. On the east side, you had the Crawshaw family. They took over in 1802. The Union Ironworks was on the east side. Well, then the Crawshaws of Merthyr, they took over, and strangely enough, our namesake, Mr. Johnson, ran it. He was the manager of that plant in 1825. Mr. Richard Johnson, no relative, I don't think. But then another big name in these parts back in those days, the Marquis of Bute. He decided he wanted his share of the profits up here, so he opened one on the opposite side. So you had one ironworks on the eastern side of the river here, and you had Marquis of Bute opened his across on the other bank in. And of course it was the Marquis of Bute that built what is now known as Bute Town. When it was originally built, it was called Newtown. It was the concept of the model village is the term that came for them later, and it was meant to be quite an extensive town for the workers. But there's evidence of a row of cottages, foundations only, because the building work stopped as the iron ore was exhausted and the works were run down. But it still stands there. In fact, in 1972, I believe it was actually set apart as a place of special interest, and a lot of money was spent bringing it back to its former glory, and can be visited now, and people live there. It's not a museum, it's a village, a small village. All this was happening long before the station was opened. That didn't open until 1871, I think it was. So much happening, but to see all this metal right on the bank into a river that is so associated with ironworks, and look at it.
Right, let's have a look what else is here then. Since there's such a varied amount of things. What's this? This is what's caught my eye.
Oh, that looks like the top of a railings.
Yep, I think so. What's that?
Oh, wait.
This looks like a weightlifting thing, is it? Or is it the wheels off a dram thing, one of those little trams?
I'd say it's a part of a machine.
When I put my hand there, you can see the scale.
Is your end reduced in depth?
As if you put a wheel or something on it.
Yeah, same here.
Right.
So
that's nice.
This could have been pulley driven on these. See where this is worn here? You feel that?
Oh yes, there's like a dip.
If you had a belt on there and there, pulley driven, and then gears on the end, it's part of a machine.
Yep, could be.
What machine? I haven't got a clue. But there was an awful lot of machinery here in the old days.
Oh, that's a big chunk. Oh, I thought it was prettier than that.
I'd say a railing went through the top of there, perhaps.
Yep. Nice though.
Yeah. On the other hand, that seems to be a tight, doesn't it? That's not snapped, is it? That's a finished end.
It's some sort of pin thing.
Actually, did this at one time. go in there like that.
Oh,
Was there
yeah.
one either end?
If I pick this end, oh, I won't pick
You
that
won't pick
end.
that end,
I can't, it's too heavy.
Did it go through there? Possibly.
Right, it's one of those, which is,
Very similar to one of them.
yes. Yep, so
It's got an eye on it,
we've got one of those.
so you can hang it up.
Yep. Or tether things to it, like your horse.
But I'm wondering, it's hollow. Were these
Or like a key.
some kind of to turn a valve in the ground,
Yep.
perhaps?
And what's this here? Is this a big chisel thing here underneath everything? Sorry about the clattering. Looks like a
That's-
big chisel, doesn't it?
That's definitely a tool that's been used with a hammer. Look at the top.
Yes, it's
That's-
battered to death.
That's what I would call hammer rash.
Yeah, it's a bad case.
Yeah, a bad case of that's been hit with a sledge or a very heavy hammer, driving that into something
Right.
to split things.
Could
Like a
be, yes,
splitter?
it's quite thin. Slates, perhaps?
Slate splitter,
Oh, it's too heavy.
or
Stone splitter.
I don't know if it's too heavy though. If you had huge slabs of slate and you put that on the top and drove it down,
Yeah, I suppose so.
on the other hand, would it dip off like that, or would it have come more? You see, that is dished.
Interesting, though. I brought you up here to show you just how many fossils we do find. They're all like this, all probably off the same piece. There's that one. Look at this. That is pretty amazing, isn't it? I put my hand there for perspective. Look at the size on that. And then over here, we've got another piece. And if we turn up here, yep, there's another piece. And up in here, there's another piece. And another piece. It's just everywhere. It's such an amazing thing to see this many fossils in one area. It's the ducks. Shh, quiet everyone.
Look at that.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Now that is a link out of a chain.
Yep, a
Now,
very
we
big
picked up
chain.
that little chain earlier. Can you imagine if this was a full length chain?
It's like the ones you see on ships, isn't it?
It is. The anchor chains.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal, isn't it? Probably again made at the foundry here
yeah.
and then sent out for whatever purpose. Or possibly a link off the top of a cage. Because you had big chains on top of the cages for the
What's the
mines.
cage for the mine?
Yeah, to send the men and the down and the coal up. Possibly. Don't know if it's big enough for that. It's a fair old size.
It is.
And it's getting heavier by the second.
I've seen something by Phil's foot as well, so what's that?
Whoa!
Oops, Phil's sliding away.
Slippery here, dear.
There's something there that's iron. Oops, it's a funny shape. Don't know what it is. Oh, that's a chain as well.
That's a
is
bit
it?
of chain
Yep,
on the end. Now, was that driven in the wall and
Yeah.
the chain coming out?
could be. There's a spike there, isn't there? And then that bit there. Oh, there's so many bits of iron. We can't take all this with us, but it's lovely.
Oh. As long as I don't fall in the river, I'll manage to say this piece to camera. I really couldn't have hoped to have found better finds on this river, knowing we'd come to a place that 200 years ago had iron foundries on either side. There was an ironworks here that really produced all this stuff. It's fantastic.
Is that another link of the chain there?
Where have I left?
Underneath that stone?
Oh yeah, there. Yeah, look. That one would obviously come out, didn't it? Yeah.
So these were originally, do you think, put in this wall? Lots of iron, but it's interesting to see those big links as well. Wondering whether there's more of the chain here. I don't think.
It's all solid. That's
Yeah,
been
that's
here
all
that's
set.
been here for decades,
Yes.
if not more. This is old iron.
Ooh. See a few things here. Here's a piece of lead pipe. all our water pipes used to be made of lead, and then they decided maybe it wasn't the safest thing to keep your water pipes lead, so they took those out and replaced them. But is that a bottle hidden under here? Oh no, it's part of one. It's an old brown beer bottle, quite thick glass. I've also found something brass up here. I think it's brass. Oh yes, some sort of plumbing fixture off the side of a radiator, so not so old. And more lead. And a piece of thick glass. Ooh, I wonder what that was off. Oh, can't pick it up, there's something there. It's a piece of, I'd say, a 1950s sugar bowl, something like that, or older, perhaps a 1930s trifle bowl. What do you think? I recognise that welly.
I think I found a brick.
Ooh, we haven't had one of those.
No, that's a new one. And that's going home with me.
Right.
Number 42.
Ooh. If only I was 42 again. We're a bit lower down now. Still a wall running along the banking. The mother duck and her ducklings are a bit further down. But I've seen some things that I want to show you. First thing is this. Look at that for a fossil. Isn't that lovely? Very heavy. Give it a swill. It almost looks man-made, doesn't it? And I found something here which I'm hoping is pottery or china. Let's pick it up. I think that's possibly off a toilet or a hand basin or something. But there's also another fossil. There. Let's have a look if there are any other fossils in this area. There's another one. They're all very similar with lines on, but there are so many of them here.
I found something similar.
Oh, what have you found?
It's not a fossil that's similar to another fossil. But you know, sometimes they say you wait for the bus and then two come at the same time.
Yep.
Well, we may have found our first ever brick from that brick company. We now found our second.
We can see it clearly now. That's a nice one.
Should I swap it for the one I put in my bag?
I think so. There are so many bits of iron along this banking here. None of it is really identifiable. Lots of long straight bits. I think that's probably another link there. One of those huge links. And a boat. Oh, I've seen something red over here. Oh, is that a phone? Yes. Somebody's mobile phone. Motor wire. And it's really not very good. Look at that screen. I'll take it home, dry it out, just in case we can get it to work and find out whose it is, but I'm really not very optimistic. I think I can see a key. No, there's not a lot of that key left, is there? And a little curly piece of metal. I can't see anything else in there. Put those down there because I've seen a little piece of china. Is that plain or patterned? Oh, give it a swill. We've never had that pattern before. Isn't that lovely? And I'm not going to move the camera back. I've just picked up another piece. Do you think that's plain or patterned? It's the same piece. I think they join as well. Oh, that's lovely.
I think I found a head.
A head. Ooh. I'm not sure if I want to look. A real one.
Head.
Human head.
Yes.
Oh.
But not a statue.
Oh, right. We'll come and have a look.
What caught my eye
Yes.
was this piece of metal here.
Right, yep.
Okay.
Ooh,
I thought that's got to be something a bit different.
yep.
Possibly a whole one of what you saw up there.
Right.
So I came to get that, but look at this.
Oh, wow. That is, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know, is it just
Oh,
a
I know.
stone?
I don't know. Look, that looks like a human head.
Doesn't it look like a carving?
It does. Now, we found a horse's head that looked like this last time we were mudlarking. There's the nose, the chin, hair perhaps on the back. Oh, that's really unusual.
See,
Surely it's not just a stone, it looks too much like a face. Or an animal. Could that be like a leopard or tiger's nose? I don't know.
Now, it's probably nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
But when you've said that, you know in Cardiff Castle,
yeah,
the animals climbing over the wall,
yeah,
it was created by, I'm sure, the Marquis of Bute.
yes.
And the Marquis of Bute owned the foundry up here. Now, whether he had property up here, I don't know.
So did he have animals on his foundry?
Possibly on the gates or something like that. Just an idea, made of stone, and some of the ones down there that have not been repaired do look
Like
peculiarly
this, yes.
like that. On the other hand, is it just a freaky bit of stone that
I don't know.
looks like a human head? If we dig this out, I can have a look and see what it is. I think it is a whole one of those thingies that you found earlier on.
Oh, yes.
See?
It's a big fat one of those.
Right. Oh, I haven't seen it like that
It's a
before.
wonky one.
Yeah, it's deliberately offset, look. But I still think it could be to take a rail in there. I know those cleats we often find.
Yep,
Drive one in there to hold it.
right.
Just by your foot. At the top of the pot.
Oh, yes, look. It's smashed. It's a little inkwell or possibly a black lead pot. That's the first time we found something like that round here. Something as complete, even though it is a bit broken. That is quite an amazing find for the area. Ooh, well spotted, Phil.
We would have passed it, for sure.
Yep.
If it wasn't for seeing that metal thing,
Yeah.
then I saw the mystery head. And then as we stood here, that was behind your foot.
Yeah.
Gotta keep your eyes peeled.
Have you ever wondered how Phil gets up steep slopes with arms full of metal and bags full of bricks? Look at that, like a professional. A professional what? I don't know, but like a professional.
This is full of stone, bricks, metal. That has got to go on with me. I'm more convinced than
Look at
ever that
that.
that's a tool that's been used to split. And that's the sort of thing I wanted today. If you've enjoyed this mudlark, give us a thumbs up. And please share it with all your friends. Until the next time, the most important thing of all, as always, be sure to have fun. Bye.